Hi, this is Cindy, Destiny,
Real
Real
Podcast,
Podcast,
and we're
and
here
we're here
today with
today with
Jesse Dynamite.
Dynamite.
Well, Jesse,
Well,
we're
Jesse,
glad to
we're glad
have
to
you.
Thank you. Glad to be on.
Would you like
Would
to
you like to
introduce
introduce
yourself
yourself
to the
to
people a
people a
little bit
little
about
bit
yourself?
about yourself?
Okay, doke. So I'm Jesse Dynamite. I've been wrestling for 2 years now. I've wrestled for LVW in Kentucky. As you can probably tell from the accent, I'm from the UK. A place called Warsaw. It's near Birmingham. And over in the UK, I've wrestled for OTC Wrestling, which is off the chain wrestling, and Alternative Wrestling World (AWW). Yeah, that's a bit about me.
Um,
Um,
what made
what made
you
you
want to
want to
start
start
wrestling?
wrestling?
Well, the main thing for me was well, it was just a lifelong thing, really. I got into wrestling at about 2 years old, 3 years old, like really young, and yeah, I remember playing like SmackDown versus Raw, the old like video games, and then my dad was a big wrestling fan as well, so I saw a lot of like 80s wrestling when I was younger. So I remember like seeing like Jimmy Snooker and the Killer Bees and stuff like that. So like, from a young age, I always wanted to do it, and then when I turned 18, went for it.
That's awesome.
That's
So
awesome. So
you
you
mentioned Jimmy
mentioned Jimmy
Snuka.
Snuka.
Would you
Would you
say that
say
he
that
was
he was
who
who
caught your
caught your
attention
attention
that made
that
you
made
want
you
to
want to
move
move
forward with
forward
that?
with that?
Possibly, yeah. I think one of my earliest memories of wrestling was Jimmy Snooker. I remember at a really young age seeing him doing the Superfly splash. It could have been the one off the cage. It might have been that video, but I remember that was one of my first sort of memories of seeing wrestling. So I guess it could have been, yeah.
Well, if it
Well,
wasn't, if it
if it
wasn't
wasn't
him,
him,
who would
who
you
would
say
you
it
say it
was?
was?
For me, sort of a main inspiration, like in my wrestling career, I would say Bret Hart was the main one. Just the way, well, really, I think just as all round, he was the best of all time. You know, his catchphrase suits him, doesn't it? Really. See, I'd say Bret Hart was the main one. Randy Savage is another one. Love Randy Savage. I've took a few things from him that I've tried to implement with myself, and then quite fit into the name of Jesse Dynamite. Dynamite Kid was another one as well. Just the way he made his moves look, the way everything was hard hitting. That was like a big inspiration to me. So tried to sort of model myself around those kind of people.
Well, those are
Well, those
great,
are great,
great people
great
that
people
model
that model.
your
Sure.
They're very
Very
talented.
talented.
Oh, so would you
So would
consider
you consider
yourself more of
yourself
a
more
high
of a high
flyer
flyer
then?
then?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. Sort of a mix between high flying and technical style of wrestling, I'd say. Say that best describes me.
And
And
you have
you have
because we've only
we've
seen
only
a
seen
couple
a
of things
couple of
from
things
you,
from you,
but
but
would you
would
say
you
that
say that
you're
you're
flamboyant,
flamboyant,
monster
monster
man?
man?
That's the direction I want to go. Yeah, I want to have some robes. I haven't got any robes at the minute, but I do want a Macho Man style robe. Love the sequins and stuff he'd have, and the colourful robes and stuff. That's the direction I want to go. Yeah.
That's really
That's
cool.
really cool.
I've always
I've always
loved
loved
Monster Man.
Mr. Man.
He was always
He was
one of my
always one of my
favorites.
favorites.
Yeah. One of the best in my opinion.
Yes,
Yes,
for
for
sure.
sure.
Now you
Now
mentioned
you
you're in the
mentioned you're in
UK
the
right
UK
now.
right now.
How is
How
that
is that
traveling,
traveling
wrestling in the
in the
UK
UK
and in the
and in the
US?
US? How do you
How do you
how do you
balance?
balance?
Well, when I was in the US, that was like a part of a tour. I was on because LVW do like a summer tour like each year, and I was there throughout August and like the early September. But for me, it was quite a bit of a new thing, really. Like I've never wrestled abroad before, and like to be honest, I haven't really flown much either. You know, I haven't been on a plane that much. I think I've been on a plane twice before. But yeah, it was a new experience, like traveling like I think it's like about 7 hours, 8 hours on a plane. And then you couldn't get a direct route to Louisville either. I had to go to Detroit and then Detroit to Louisville. And then I think I had to go to Boston on the way back. So yeah, it's a long journey, but yeah, it's manageable. It's manageable though, you know. I think really the main thing is just your planning. You just have to make sure you plan everything correct because you know it can be quite time consuming. I needed a couple of days before I started LVW really to you know make sure I got there on time and got to the hotel and stuff and adjusted to the time zone and things like that. But yeah, it's manageable.
Um, what are some of the differences? You know, wrestling and wrestling here. Is it the same or are the people totally different?
I think there is similarities and there is differences. In terms of differences, the ring was a main one. Like it was only LVW I wrestled at in America. I haven't wrestled on the indies there. But LVW had a 20-foot ring, which was the biggest ring I've ever worked in. Like our rings tend to be quite small in the UK, like 14 foot or 16 foot. And then I've known some people to even have like 10-foot rings. Like, they're really small compared to the US. And then like the way the ring sort of bounces is different as well. Like our rings seem a bit more firmer. Like there's a promotion that I wrestled for, well, I trained for before, and that one of their rings was from World of Sport, I think, which was the old British wrestling from like the 70s and 80s. So the ring was from there, and it was more or less like a boxing ring. It was really hard. Whereas when I was at LVW, the ring was like really bouncy. So that was something to get used to. That was something different. But in terms of similarities, I think the crowds weren't too different. Like you know, you'd sort of I felt like they responded to the same sort of things, and it felt like a similar sort of dynamic. So you know, it was a bit comforting, really. That like you know, it felt like a similar sort of crowd, and you know, I sort of went in there with a bit of confidence. So that was good.
Was it a pretty? Is it now? Is it an easy adjustment when you have to go back and forth?
I'd say so. Yeah. I think it took a little bit of getting used to. I mean, as I said about the ring, because you know you have to take like an extra couple of steps running the ropes and sort of you know there's just little things here and there where because of the size of the ring and the way the ring is, you have to consider things a little bit differently. But having now wrestled in that, I could adjust between the two. Yeah, so I think I'll be all right.
I think you will too. You'll be great.
Thank you.
I know you told us a little bit about why you chose wrestling. You mentioned your family. You know, watching it. Was there ever a time when you just said, "Okay, yeah, I want to wrestle when I grow up"? What was the moment when you said, "Yes, this is what I have to
do"? I'd say if there was, I'm not sure if there's an exact moment. I know. Well, when I turned 18, I started looking for like wrestling schools locally and stuff. I was like, right, this is something I've always wanted to do, and yeah, I'm an adult now. I'm gonna go ahead and do it. So I could say it would be that moment. when I just sort of decided this is what I want to start doing, or possibly when I was at OVW, because then I realised, what sort of pathway I could go with this, because sort of wrestling on OVW's, at the Davis Arena. I did some dark matches before TV, and then sort of during those, I kind of realised, like, yeah, this is it now. This is achievable. I feel like it could be achievable what I want to accomplish with wrestling. So, one of those two moments, I'd say.
OVW. Who was your favorite opponent there?
Favorite opponent?
Mm-hmm.
I would say Cal Hero. He was my favorite. I did. We did a 5-way match at. It was this town called Middlesboro, Kentucky. I think it's near Tennessee. And yeah, Cal was really good to me while I was in America. Like, I did a bit of traveling with him and got to know him, and Cal's great, and he's really good in the ring, brilliant wrestler. So, to be in the ring with him, and the match it was for his title, the Rush Division title, and the finish was between me and him, where I hit a big move on Jared Kripke. I turned around and Cal gave me a big crossbody, and then the crowd went nuts, and 1, 2, 3, and that was the finish. So to have that moment, and to be in the ring with Cal, who's he's accomplished big things for his age as well. I'd say he was probably my favourite opponent to be in the ring with. So I'd go with Cal.
So would you tell me you wrestle more as a heel or a face?
While I was in America, I wrestled mostly as a heel. I think it came a bit naturally, really, because the first match was against the Derby City Destroyers. They were the tag champs at the time, and the crowd loved them, so they didn't really like me. So I think being British kind of, like, it stuck out to them as well. It was all like USA. So I think it just sort of came naturally that I was going to be a heel on the remainder of my matches. So in America I worked heel mostly, and I enjoyed it as well. I think that was the right way to go, and I think it went well. But in the UK, I've tended to be face most of the time. Yeah. So I've had a bit of a flavour of both worlds.
Which is your favorite?
I don't know at the moment. I remember at one point heel was my favourite because it was a bit more new to me, and I was like, this is something different. But I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if I've got a favourite anymore. I enjoy both of them. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, whatever's asked of me.
Do you have any questions? Destiny? No.
No questions.
She has nothing. Oh. Well, I have one. What is your favorite style? I mean, I know you said you're technical. What is your favorite style to do?
Favorite style to do? I do love just technical wrestling, just pure technical wrestling, like the old British style. I trained with Zach Knight on a seminar, and I'm sure you probably know Zach Knight.
Yes.
So the style he teaches at his school, WAW, is very, like, technical, very, old school British holds and stuff, and that's kind of what he showed us in the seminar. And you know, some of the things he showed us, like different holds and stuff, I'd never seen them before. I'd never heard of them. I was like, this is pretty cool. So, yeah, particularly since then, like I enjoyed that sort of style anyway. But since then, I've wanted to do it more and more, and you know, I've watched some like old British wrestling matches, seeing that sort of style, and yeah, just that. I think that's the style I enjoy most, wrestling, like in training and stuff, because I think there's a lot to it you don't quite realise. Like you know, if you're in a hold, there's a million different ways of getting out of it, and you know, if you know 2 or 3, it's like you know, it's cool. Oh, I can get out of that. But in training, it's nice to think, right, what's a different way I could get out of this, and then you get quite creative with it, and I think that's what I enjoy most about wrestling. So definitely that British technical style. I'd say that's definitely my favourite.
Well, who was you mentioned Bret Hart earlier. Who's your favorite technical?
Favorite technical wrestler? Ooh. Could be Bret Hart. He's up there. Could be Owen Hart. Maybe Dynamite Kid. Maybe Marty Jones as well. Maybe Benoit.
Love Benoit.
I think. I don't know. I'll go through fads. Like you know, I tend to be. 'Cause I have a treadmill, so I'll set the TV up, put some wrestling on, run on the treadmill. It keeps me occupied, and I go through like fads with that. Like I think for a few weeks I might have Bret Hart matches on. After that, I might have Dynamite Kid matches on, or Davey Boy Smith. I think at the moment I'll probably go with Bret. Probably Bret Hart, but the answer could change depending on the day or anything. Depends what I'm feeling. Yeah.
We're like, this really love that. A couple weeks later. Yeah, it'll change up. Now I still always absolutely would. You know, like Ric Flair. Always be there. Tommy Rich. Yeah, and Seth Rollins
as well.
Yeah, but I have my set.
That's your like Mount Rushmore.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who is your Mount
Rushmore? I think the best of all time, in my opinion, or all round, I would say Bret Hart, Randy Savage, Shawn Michaels, and maybe Flair, maybe Jericho. I think Jericho all round is one of the best of all time. So I'm for like the Mount Rushmore, I'm considering like who had the best in-ring skills, plus on the mic, plus gimmick, look. Were they relevant for a long period of time? Did they change their characters throughout time? It's a tough one. I think I'd go with Ric Flair fourth. Jericho's a close fifth, though. I know there's probably some people I'm forgetting that later on I'll think, oh, that would be in it. But I know definitely Bret, Shawn, and Randy Savage. That'd definitely be in there for me. Yeah, I think I'll go Flair fourth.
Good choice.
That's the one.
How about you, Dustin? Yeah, you met Rushmore. Undertaker.
Solid choice.
Name. Ric Flair. Yeah. And Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy's alright.
He was one of my favourites, Jeff Hardy. Love Jeff Hardy.
He just makes me nervous. You never know what's going to happen. So who is have you ever like someone that you look up to in the business?
What was that? Sorry.
I said, have you ever got anybody that you looked up to? Anybody when you're
I mean, meeting Al Snow was a good one. Because sort of becoming a wrestler, I'd say he's recognised as one of the best trainers out there. So to meet Al Snow and to be around him and get to learn from him, that was a good one. That's up there. I mean, Doug Basham, another one as well. I think Doug Basham's recognised as one of the top trainers, and he was like the head trainer at LVW. So that's another one. I'd say they're my main two, yeah. And then when I was younger, I met Tatanka at like a local show, and got to talk to him, so that was cool. And then met Gangrel as well when I was a bit younger as well. So they're the ones, yeah. And now I did briefly meet EC3 when I was wrestling at LVW. And at the time, he was the NWA champion. So yeah, that was cool. But yeah, that's the ones for me.
I like EC3. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's all right,
yeah. I just went away. Who is the one person that you would love to wrestle? I mean, it doesn't matter who they are or where.
Just of all time, in their prime.
Yes.
It's another tough one. It's another Mount Rushmore question where it's just it could be anyone. I think I don't know. Maybe either Bret Hart or Owen Hart. And I say that because, I mean, firstly, there were two of my sort of inspirations to become a wrestler. Probably two of my favourites of all time. And, I mean, obviously, it'd just be amazing to be in the ring with them. But on top of that, I just feel like it would be a lot to take in as well, just to, to have Bret calling a match to you or Owen calling a match to you. And like their reputation, like within wrestling of being two of the best workers of all time, that to wrestle them would be amazing. So I don't know who I could choose between those two. I think I'm swaying towards Bret. Bret's my all-time favourite, so Bret Hart would be the one. Bret Hart.
Sorry, thought we heard. Like, what's in here? Who is the one person who wrestled in active wrestling?
Now in active wrestling, maybe Nakamura. Love Nakamura. maybe Sami Zayn. And speaking of those two, loved their matches together. I think was it Takeover Dallas, I think. I watched that live, and it was one of the few things I did watch live because they're on at like 1 in the morning in the UK. That's like when they start, and I think that was the first time I ever saw Nakamura, and I was blown away by how brilliant that match was. So either him or Sami Zayn, because to see what those two can do, they're two of my modern favourites. So be one of those two. Absolutely.
Yeah. Shinsuke
Shinsuke
blows my mind to be as tall as he is.
Yeah.
And to still move like it's like he defies God.
Yeah. I love his entrance as well. Like just the aura he had about him. Yeah.
He's definitely a
presence.
character.
Yeah.
I love Sammy. I've always me.
Yeah. Love Sammy.
You should have a question. She's training. Actually.
The Apprentice.
Yes.
Yeah.
She just so quiet sometimes.
Yeah.
What? Nothing. You have merch. The people buy order from you.
I've got t-shirts at the moment. At the moment, that's all I've got at the minute, just t-shirts. But I've got some plans for other things. I mean, posters are a good one. Would want to get some posters done. Obviously, some like autograph sheets. I haven't got any at the moment, but that's definitely the next step. And then, I mean, there's lots of cool things you can do with merch, isn't there? I'd love to do like mugs and coasters and stuff, because I mean, being British, I love a good cup of tea, right? So I want a mug with my logo on or something. That'd be cool. Yeah. I've written down like ideas and stuff for merch, so I think there is some cool things I definitely want to do. What are the ones that I thought of? Fridge magnets. I do love fridge magnets, so I do want to have some little Dynamite fridge magnets at some point as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully some things to come.
If people want to get hold of to order t-shirts, how would they do
that? Well, you can just search online for Jesse Dynamite Pro Wrestler, and then you can see my Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube, and there'll be info on there. Or alternatively, if you're at a show that I'm on, I'll have a little merch table most likely, and I've got a little stand, this little poster thingy. It's got a little QR code where you can scan that, and then takes you to my links. So that's the way in person, or just search for Jesse Dynamite Pro Wrestler, and I'll show up somewhere. Yeah.
It'll show. You put it in the link in the comments of the video also. So people can support too.
I'll send it over, yeah.
And if someone wants to book you, do they go about finding you in the same place? Or do they need to call you?
In my Instagram, I have got my email in the bio, so you can either send me an email or just DMs, just through messages. So that's the main way. Yeah.
Okay, what's your Instagram?
Just Jesse Dynamite Pro Wrestler. If you just search for that, it'll show up. Just the only thing to remember is Jesse's spelled Jesse. Some people spell it with an I, some people spell it with a Y, but Mine's with an E. That's the only thing that can throw people off.
And something else, you had mentioned that you're going to debut in a couple of weeks with another wrestling promotion. You want to tell us about that?
Yes, that's at a Aspire Wrestling Alliance. It's in a place called Derby in the UK. They were the promotion I was talking about earlier with the ring from World of Sport. So I'll train there as well occasionally. And yeah, I'll be debuting for them on November 19th. So if you check out Jesse Dynamite Pro Wrestler, I've got some posts about that, about upcoming shows and stuff. For that particular one, I'm in a Rumble. It's called the Golden Opportunity Rumble. That one. And then, well, this coming Saturday tomorrow, November 11th, I've also got a show at AWW. I'm also in a Rumble there as well. So it's Rumble season here in the UK. Rumbles everywhere. But yeah, if you follow Jesse Dynamite Pro Wrestler on Instagram, Facebook, or search on the YouTube, I'll have details with posters and stuff of upcoming shows and that. Yeah.
And if people search on YouTube, will they also do the previous fight?
Yeah. Typically, for shows, I do tend to get them recorded, matches and stuff. So more often than not, if I've had a match, a week or two later, it'll show up on my YouTube, the full match, and then I've got like promo videos and training videos and like videos from interviews and stuff like that. So there's a few things on there.
Okay. Do you have any words for business for anybody trying to get in the business?
I'd say word of advice. I would say just try and get the reps in. Go to training. See what's out there. Go to seminars. Try and learn from the best. Like for me, since wrestling, I've tried at a few different places, learned from different people. When these seminars come in, like I've gone to those. I've trained with Zach Knight. I've trained with Shaw Samuels. I'm doing one with Eric Young soon as well. I'd say the main thing is just try and learn as much as you can, and try and get out there. The practice makes perfect. That's the saying, isn't it? So the more you practice, the more you wrestle, the better you'll be. So get to training, try and get on shows, and get the reps in. That's the advice I'd give. Yeah.
That's great. Good advice. Get someone
Yeah.
Can't sit and do the work. Right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Is there anything else you want people to
know? Could give a little reminder. Jesse Dynamite Pro Wrestler. Just search for that. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. November 11th, I'm wrestling at AWW. November 19th, I'm wrestling at Aspire Wrestling Alliance. Again, if you follow me on social media, you'll be able to see the posters, get ticket details and whatnot. Other than that, I think that's it, really. Yeah.
You already here. Go Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Go check them out. Get in touch with them. If you like it. Go walking. Wherever exactly you know when you may be back in the US?
Hopefully next summer. I haven't got anything in the works yet, but hoping to set something up. Yeah, hoping to come back to LVW and go on the summer tour. I think that's the plan. So hopefully I'll be back in Kentucky next year.
Well, when you head back this way, Kentucky, we'll have to see it.
Yeah.
Very great. We're pretty
Yeah.
close to there.
Yeah, close to Louisville.
Yes.
Yeah.
But thank you so much. It's been awesome getting to talk to you and get to know you a little better.
Thank you. Thanks for
Maybe
having
you
me
come
on.
back again. Maybe when you get ready to come back to the timeline.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
But we thank you again. Y'all go check him out. Awesome guy. Wrestler. And this is Cindy and Dustin Real and Jesse Dynamite. Until next time.